Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here. My numbers on YouTube are changing constantly now. I'm not sure why they're doing that. From subscriptions to views now are changing numbers. So I don't know if YouTube's playing games or I'm sure they're doing something and they're up to something, but that's not what I made this video for. You're here maybe because you've got a lot of questions and no answers. And we all do. We all do. We all have no answers to exactly what we live on, nor what the stars really are, nor what the sun is and what the moon is and how they eclipse. Why you feel absolutely no motion at all whatsoever. That I can answer you because you're on a plane that is not moving. Okay, that's an easy answer. Why there's no curvature? Well, there's no curvature because we're on a plane again. There's a lot of philosophies about what exactly we're living on, and I'm not really sure what to believe. Now, I have spoken to people about Flat Earth, just maybe 2 people, 3 people. I spoke to Mark Sargent. I go on his show from time to time. He's on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock on Truth Frequency Radio. You got to download that TuneIn Radio app or however else you get it. That's how I get it on my phone. And I've spoken to him a couple times, but it's not the same. You know, you really need face-to-face experience. You know, with somebody who is a believer. And you know, this is something you're going to have to go out and you're going to have to find people in your area. You know, I can give you this information that if you are in the New York area, I'm not sure when it's going to be. It's probably going to be coming up soon. That there might be a Flat Earth meeting at the Palisades Mall. On Mark Sargent's channel and Patricia's channel too, they update all of these meetings. So if it ever is pulled together and you know, we can get enough people to go, I guess they'll have it. And the Palisades Mall is right off the Thruway. I believe it's right over literally maybe exit 14, I think, off the Thruway. So that's a starting place for people who live in New York. Now, the other places you'll have to find out for yourself. Flat Earth asshole was gonna. I was hoping he would make it to the East Coast. He didn't. Unfortunately, I was following him, and apparently he had to cut his trip short because of something to do with his band, which is understandable. So I was kind of looking forward to talking to him, but another time, I guess. Another time. I'd like to go to the place in North Carolina. I'm going to try to reserve a ticket. I don't know, the tickets are sold out, but that would be a nice start for people if they want to. But that's not until November. You probably need answers now, and you want to talk to somebody now. And the only way you're going to be able to do it is if you get into contact with somebody via internet. You know, throw your name out there, go on these live chats. These live chats are happening constantly at this point. They're all over the place. You know, they're on YouTube daily, you know, and they run for 6 hours. I've been on a couple of them, but they're difficult because the hours are off the wall, off the charts, midnight, 6 o'clock in the morning, while I'm working. You know, they just don't work out for me in some cases, but from time to time I can find a live chat that I can go to. I also think that, you know, you should do some more investigation on everything that's around you, the stars, the sun, the moon, which are obviously revolving. you know, and listen to all the crap that we learned when we were a kid. And if you think about it, it's just so ridiculous, you know, when you wake up and you accept this, that we were told all of this nonsense of, you know, the earth being the shape that it is, revolving around the sun, you know, and that magically we just happen to be aware of the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, and they're the exact same size just because they're just far enough to be there, and it's down to the millimeter. They're the exact same size. You know, it really is amazing that we bought all of this stuff in our science classes, because the more and more I think about it, the more and more, it's almost like they said, let's try to get people to think, or you know, try to get people to believe the most ridiculous thing you could possibly ever come up with, and let's see if they'll buy it. And they did it. You know, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. You know, and when they finally figured out that we don't live on a planet, when they made their way down to Antarctica, they had to cover their tracks, and they did a good job of it. You know, and I don't know where it all began, where the lies began. I mean, you know, people say 500 years ago. Copernicus, I don't know. I mean, gravity obviously is not what we thought it was. Gravity, I believe, is pressure in the air, believe it or not. That's what I think, and I don't think there's actually something underneath us that's causing us to stay down here and not float in the air, because obviously we can't go anywhere except just float around. So a planetarium, if that's what we live in, on a large scale, I believe would create air pressure thick enough to actually maybe create gravity. I'm not 100% sure about that, and I don't think nobody is. But if you think about it, you know, feel the pressure when you go underneath the water. You know, feel the immense pressure. If you go down 12 feet, you get a headache, man. You know, try 20 feet. You know, I mean, the immense pressure that the water has, the further down you go, that's pushing against you, is incredible. And I mean, if there truly is the gravity that they say there is, how do these satellites stay up there? You know, how did we even get them up there? How do the clouds manage to stay where they are? You know, I mean, you know, maybe these are so light. Yeah, the satellites are beyond our atmosphere, but it's gravity. Gravity should be. Oh shit! Great. Drop the coffee. Isn't that wonderful? All right. Well, what are you gonna do? Stand by. Well, I'll tell you, you gotta love the stain-resistant rugs. There wasn't much coffee in it anyway. Anyway, so back to what I was saying, you know, about the immense pressure that water creates when you go underneath. So you can imagine what air pressure creates. You know, that's my personal take on it. I remember seeing somewhere in, I forget where it was, some Discovery Channel or something like that, and they're talking about there was a Hollywood studio that was so big that it was actually creating its own weather with the smoke, you know, with the clouds, I guess, that were in there, created from, you know, just smoke, I guess, that they were doing. I don't know what set that they were on, but it was actually creating condensation, and it was raining in there. And that's just a small Hollywood set. Imagine something, who knows how big this is that we live on. It certainly isn't the miles that they say it is, but, you know, say it's 10 or 20,000 miles, you know, and a planetarium on that scale would just be incredible. I mean, you think about it. Other things you should also try to do is, you know, try posting some videos of your own. You know, maybe you can contact people through that. I gotta get that. Stand by. Unfortunately, I don't have an army of secretaries or anything like that. I am the secretary. Anyway, there's a reason why we all can't look at the sun. And there's a reason why we can't take a set of binoculars, zoom in on the sun, and take a look at it. It's definitely hiding something up there. I know you've seen it from NASA and all this other nonsense. They put this filter on there and they show these great walls of fire. I don't believe it. I think it's bullshit. Until I see something like that for myself, maybe. But no, no. No, it's not like that. It's a reflective disc. It's a very powerful one, too. Um, the stars are an amazing light show. It's incredible. It was just today is June 30th, 2017. And I recall hearing something from NASA that they found, what did they find? Oh, the meteor. That's right. Oh yeah, that's coming today. I think it's just missing us by 1,000,000 miles or something like that. Yeah, that's coming tomorrow, I believe. So you should be able to see some sort of light show up there in the sky at some point. Check NASA on that one. I'm sure they have written a description of exactly where it's going to be and when you're gonna see this. That's something I do find amazing, though. You know, how they know all of this. That confuses me. That's why I always bought the stars in space, you know. Sure, I had telescopes. We all did. Did you ever take that telescope and zoom in on a star? No. What were you doing with it? Nothing. It sat there like a coat hanger, you know. That's all it did. Because you had no interest in it. You know, you learned what you had to learn in school. You're out of school now. Why? You know, what's the point? I could see him with my own eyes. Oh yeah, there's Venus. You know, it's right there, right by the sun, right there. I can see it. I remember a few years ago when all the planets aligned. That was before I woke up, and whoa, that was amazing. You know, I made such a big deal about it. I had my zoom lens going in on my phone. I had everything. I was so excited, and they just came in perfectly. And that's something that I've always wondered myself, is how do they understand these stars that are going on. Got a little coffee right here still under the desk. That's great. Oh, it is amazing about these stain resistant rugs. I thought I'd have to get one of those steam cleaners in here. Anyway, so yeah, that really has really, I've always questioned that, you know, how they understand all of this stuff, you know. Unfortunately, we'll never really have a true answer to that, but look for these things NASA has. I'm sure they're going to probably come up with something in the next month or two about a planet that's inhabitable through our species, if they already haven't. I remember hearing something about it, and I just can't wait until that picture that they give us, you know, about this new planet that they found that's 90 billion light years away, that the Hubble telescope could zoom in on. Yet it can't be flipped around and zoomed in onto a town and get me sitting there with my middle finger up, giving it a real live shot. They're not going to do that. Just like I said before, because it doesn't exist. There's nothing up there. But they'll make you believe there is. And I'm just looking forward to seeing that planet, the Earth planet. Earth 2 is what they'll call it. And I'm waiting for the alien invasion. I know they're getting everything ready and set to go with that one. I'm just waiting for it to come, and I can't wait for my significant other to come yelling and screaming up to me. You've been telling me this for years, that we were going to have an alien invasion. Yes, I was a big believer in that. And every time now that she brings things up, especially if it's scientific, I don't even answer her anymore at this point. So that shows you where I am on that level. I'm not excited, nor do I care, because I know it's all a bunch of BS. And you know that too, I hope. And if you don't, you will. You know, tear apart NASA, go get those pictures, zoom in on the zoom in on the Apollo 11. You can see it. Actually, I recently went on the NASA channel, and I noticed I couldn't zoom in on some of the pictures, but I was half-assed looking through it. So there was this one picture of the Apollo 11 that I was able to zoom in on, and then I downloaded it again, and I wasn't able to zoom in. So I don't know if they've changed that at all. They might have, but I downloaded it on my phone, so I actually still have that picture that you can zoom in on. But I mean, you can see this thing is made of tape. There's no marks. There's no engine marks. There's nothing. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing there. you know. And it's all a pack of lies. All of it. So, I just wanted to give you my 2 cents on this. I'm going to be posting a couple more videos today. I hope you watch them.